Good afternoon. We are members of the Cass City Homeschoolers, and we are
The
Phightin Phragmites.
My name is Cody MacArthur.
I'm Pearl Dascom.
I'm Kirsten Micah.
I'm Tabitha Sanchez.
I'm Addie Battle.
With our project, we really wanted to focus on something that was important to the environment as well as our community. After brainstorming and talking with members of our community, we decided that we wanted to rebuild the walking trails. We are very excited about this opportunity that we have, and we can't wait to tell you more about it. The trails that we are working with have been an important part of our community for decades. With its beautiful walking trails and 9-hole disc golf course, it was a popular spot to get outside and enjoy our wonderful state of Michigan. However, over the past few years, the trails have lost their popularity, and they have not been as well managed as before. Our area lacks access to exercise opportunities, and this trail and extended disc golf course would be a great way to get people outside and active. With this opportunity that we have to rebuild the trails, we are excited to work on increasing environmental literacy. Right now, we plan to have signs spread along the trails to educate all ages on the environment that they are currently interacting with. This will be everything from unique tree names to information about specific reptiles that live among the trails. Currently, the trails we are working on go in multiple directions through the woods, and many of them do not connect to each other. One of our goals for this project is to connect all of these trails to create different link loops throughout the woods. The first step to doing this was mapping the existing trails. To do this, we downloaded a trusting running app that would track our route and continue to walk the existing trails. We then took our GPS information and trail routes and overlaid it with a Google Map drone shot. This is allowing us to see where the new trails would be most beneficial.
While several members of our team worked on creating a map of the trails, we also identified interesting features that we would like to pinpoint with signs. The forest is mainly a maple beech stand, but there are also a few trees, such as a large lone hemlock and several ironwood and black cherry trees that we would like to label. Near the front entrance, we would also like to place a sign that would encourage hikers to look for wildlife such as jack-in-the-pulpit, wild leeks, trout lilies, spring beauties, burls on several trees, and several various amphibians and birds. As part of our community outreach, we wanted to make sure that children in our community are aware not only that the trails exist, but also that there is much they can learn about nature while visiting the trails. We invited children to participate in a scavenger hunt activity that took place along the trails. The children ranged in age from preschool to middle school. As they looked for items to collect in their bags, we stopped at various places to point out unique features of the forest. We showed them how to identify an ironwood tree by its bark, a hemlock tree by its needles, and a trout lily by its flowers and spotted leaves. We also discussed other interesting finds, such as what causes a burl on a tree and how invasive plants can spread. As we talked about this project with several members of the community, we learned that many people were not even aware that the trails existed. We contacted the editor of our local newspaper and provided him with information about the trails and our plans to improve them. He then interviewed us and published a story in the Cass City Chronicle. The Tuscola Advertiser also ran a story about our project.
The history of our is about 100 years ago. The Orr family owned this piece of land. They donated it to the Cass City to be used as a driving park. It was also used for maple syrup. The Benkelman family, who still owns the woods right next to the park, harvested maple syrup in their woods until a few decades ago. We know Native Americans made maple syrup at the nearby petroglyphs. Around the 1980s, a group attempted to create trails and to set fitness equipment. However, the trails have been neglected ever since, and the fitness equipment is all broken down.
Our vision is that people of all ages will have a natural habitat to explore in order to build environmental literacy. Our trails will include signage. This signage will include information about the history of the area, the species in the area, and some interesting facts about the woods. Signage will also help in wayfinding around the trails and to publicize the trails. Another goal for these trails is for them to be interactive. This includes building natural areas for children to play, such as stumps to climb on and bridges to run across. We also want our trails to be accessible to anyone. A dream is to have a section of the trail paved and accessible for use by strollers and wheelchairs. This also means the parts of the trail left more natural are easily walkable. We are applying for a $25,000 State Farm grant to see if we can make this dream come true. Here's what's next. By June, we will complete the mapping of the trails and inventory of species. By July, we will have signage planned. We are deciding that the signs will feature what they will say and what graphics will be on them. Our partner, SBLC, will do graphic design and printing. By September, the existing trails will be cleared of downed trees and obstructions. Remnants of old broken fitness trail equipment will be removed. We will mark out about 25% brand new trails to cover the forest and make complete loops. And by October, we will complete the trails by grooming and widening the existing ones, building 2 new bridges and installing the signs and interactive play areas.
Alright, I'll wrap up and share who we're partnering with. So the Saginaw Bay Land Conservancy is our biggest partner. They have helped us in a lot of the grant writing. Much of the budget available has come through them. They're also in charge of the graphic design of the signage, and of course they're helping with the organization of the project. Another huge partner is the Cass City Village Council. Of course, we had to ask them for permission to use the trails and to upgrade the woods there. Also, they're helping us in planning. They're helping us to cross-promote with the MSU tourism project that recently came to Cass City, and are providing labor and equipment for building the bridges, removing trees, and also they're providing us with some drone photography of above the woods. Of course, we're partnering with the Stinging Nettles Envirothon team. They are in charge of the adult outreach aspect of this project, taking a forest inventory and mapping the invasive species in the forest. Some other partners include the Natural Resources Conservation Service and the Tuscola Conservation District. There is a little, it's actually just a drain coming off from the neighboring field, but it is the waterway within that woods. So they are helping us make sure that when we, for example, build a bridge over that, we're doing it in an environmentally conscious way. The trails that we build can coexist nicely with the rest of the woods, that whatever we do isn't destroying the habitat, but allows humans to explore it in a way that can coexist. The Rotary Club of Cass City is fundraising for the disc golf. That will hopefully bring more people in to use the trails that we build. The Cass City Chronicle, Cody told you, has been very supportive in advertising us, as well as the Tuscola Advertiser. Our budget is $14,000 in total, will be used by the fall. These grants were applied for by SBLC from the Penny Foundation and 2 Tuscola Community Foundation grants. The signage, installation, lumber, tree removal, trail widening, mulch, gravel, the 100-foot boundary fence, and one of the benches will all be funded through that. Also, $4,500 of that is Rotary asking for local businesses to build the disc golf holes. We are in charge of applying for some $200 to $500 mini grants through Peace First, Walmart, and Do Good. With these, we hope to do some interactive things with the trail. So, for example, one of my favorites is the wingspan finder. Little kids can stand by it, and I'm as tall as the wingspan of an eagle. I remember that very vividly when I was 4 years old. We had some other interactive things for children to play and just encourage use. We have a wish list for additional grants, such as $2,500 from State Farm for an accessible paved loop trail, fully paved, wheelchair accessible. If we get that, we would love to see that. Other parts of the trail will remain natural, but this one will pave so that everyone can use it. The community reaction to this project has been very positive. Cass City, like many places in rural Michigan, is kind of a dying community. We lost our grocery store in 2014. We're losing jobs very rapidly. Sort of the gemstone of our community was our pool, and that has broken. So we're kind of in economic despair right now. But we are beginning to be able to improve the pool, and with this coming alongside the pool, Cass City is very excited to have some things to do in Cass City, and that can maybe even attract some tourism. So they're very excited to see this.
That's 10 minutes.
All right.
Great.
Thank you very much. What questions can we answer?
Right on the dot. Nice. I had one. That was really good. You guys all did very well. Do you have?
Well, as I came up with questions, you seem to be answering them.
Yeah, I did.
So is the Conservation District Forester helping you to select the trees that should go?
Yes.
And have they considered selling any of those trees to help pay for the project? Is there
That's-
enough there to do that?
That's an interesting consideration. It's a very young forest.
Okay.
And I don't know enough about lumber harvesting to know what types of trees are good for what, but it is a very young forest, so a lot of the trees are very small. But we are working directly with the forester we've had out so far. Her name is Ann Collins, and she is willing to come out and help us select which to cut.
You guys had to get permission to kind of start moving on this project. Did you guys participate in asking those permissions? Can you tell me a little bit about that, what you had to do?
Cody?
So actually, we were trying to figure out something to do for our project, and we figured, well, maybe we'll work on the trails. And so when we consulted the village council, actually we found out they were actually planning to do something with them as well.
Okay,
So they were very willing to help us.
perfect. So you guys had to go to the council meeting then and ask and talk. Good,
It was really nice timing.
good.
Yeah, but they were thinking about it too.
Yeah.
That's
Great.
good.
Yeah. Very good.
Oh, can I make one comment? You are all very well-spoken young people. I can hear it in the way you present yourselves. And because of that, next time you come in front of me, I would really love it if you weren't reading off your card. Because you obviously know your materials, and you present yourselves very, very well. So if you could get to that point, that would really help me with your presentation. But it's a nice job.
Thank you.
Very good job.
So a few of you I remember faces from last year. Are some of you guys newer? Newer? Okay, what year are you guys in school?
I'm a junior.
I'm a junior, so.
10th grade.
And May 10th.
And the first time around, which I know you're not. Are you all first time around? Okay.
Okay. I
Very
thought
nice
maybe
job.
some new faces.
Very
for
nice
sure.
job.
Yeah.
A great project too.
Good project. I'm glad it's going so well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Keep up the good work. Yeah. All right. Thank you and have
Take
a
all the
wonderful
flannels
time.
too.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Good job.
If you don't mind, I'll help switch over to the next PowerPoint. Okay.
Sure, that would be fine.